Well, today is the first day that actually kind of feels like spring. Still not super warm by any means, but the sun feels slightly warm. But there's still plenty of ice here. It's actually kind of cool. Pretty thick sheets of ice. Which of course means I can't resist random acts of destruction. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, this is a great place for hiking. Look at that little tiny island over there. That's really neat.
Well, if that one's tiny, what's that one?
Oh yeah. I don't even know if that can be seen in the video. Wow, this is beautiful.
With the snow, it's even better.
Yeah, there's even some snow left there. Huh. So I figured, haven't actually talked about Nova Scotia. We've been here now for 1.5 years. So what do we think about it? I have somewhat mixed feelings because I still miss Vancouver Island, which is unusual. I've never actually been attached to a place before. We've moved so much and I've never actually really missed a place. Now, of course, every place we've been, they've always been good memories. So I can be nostalgic about certain memories of places, but I don't normally miss a place. That's unusual. But ignoring that, there are a lot of nice things about Nova Scotia.
Different kind of rock.
Different kind of rock. Is that a pro? You're giving everybody cute poisoning again. You realize that, right?
Well, what
Heads will explode. Although I don't know if you can really be hurt because you're not that close to the mic, and it's you're impossible. Impossibly adorable. So I hope the wind is not too bad. I've got the little foamy thing on the mic, technical term. And yeah, so back to Nova Scotia. So the main reason that we moved here was because housing is absolutely insanely unaffordable on Vancouver Island and really on the West Coast in general. From what I hear, Washington State is also pretty bad with the prices, and Vancouver is insane, although Toronto is working hard to compete with it apparently. And yeah, Vancouver Island, Victoria is also great. Well, I shouldn't say Vancouver Island necessarily. It's mainly Victoria that's brutally, absurdly overpriced. Wow, look at that. It's all kinds of ice there. So that's different. If you go further up the island, it gets more... No, I don't even want to say more affordable. It gets slightly less unaffordable. But it's still pretty absurd for what you get. Much better here, although it seems like the market is taking off here too. Prices are starting to increase substantially as well. Either way, so Nova Scotia is definitely beautiful. It's got a lot of nice things about it. Same with BC, Canada's ocean playground, indeed. So that's pretty neat. And
the warmest swimming waters all along here.
Right. And there's something about sunsets here. I don't know what it is, but sunsets here are a lot prettier than they are on Vancouver Island. Yeah, let me just step right on the ice and slip and break my ass. That will make for a good video. Okay. And yeah, this kind of stuff, that's really amazing about Nova Scotia. All these rocky coastlines. You can definitely tell why it's called Nova Scotia. It certainly is reminiscent. I mean, I haven't been to Scotland, but I've seen pictures and videos, so just going by that. That is really cool. So a lot of beauty to be had. Yeah, like I was saying, so for some reason sunsets here are more spectacular than they were on the West Coast. It has to do with the clouds actually, because I also noticed that there are more interesting cloud formations here. Like there's a tendency, from what I remember in Victoria, that the sky is either completely blue or it's completely white. Like it's not that much cloud formation as such, you know. At least not as much as here. Because here you get all kinds of crazy cloud formations at times. That's really nice. And yeah, climate-wise, it can't compare to the island because no place in Canada really can. It's really just Vancouver Island and lower mainland Vancouver. Super, super mild. Here, not so much, but by Canadian standards, it's still pretty mild because even though we get snowstorms and such, they're not as crazy as they are in other places. Like, for example, Newfoundland is not far from here, and they get it really bad. Like, they get 50 centimeters dumped on them at a time, and then, you know, several times in a row. Insane. What was it? I think last year they even got a meter dumped on them at once, didn't they? More even?
Yeah, they had an absolutely insane snowfall at one time.
Yeah.
Something like 2 meters.
Absolutely ridiculous. So we don't get that here. Sometimes we get, I mean, earlier this year we got, what was it, 30 centimeters? No, 40, I think. 40 centimeters, which still sucks, but it's not that bad. So that's not too terrible. It also doesn't have Vancouver Island's magical immunity to mosquitoes, which is again the only place in Canada pretty much that I'm aware of that doesn't really get mosquitoes, or at least, like, I've seen some, but they were really, I'm not even sure if they really were mosquitoes. When I was in the woods, they were totally disinterested in me, so it was probably something else. In some parts of the island you do get them, but in Victoria, basically nothing, none at all. Here you've got both mosquitoes and black flies, which are possibly even worse. Arguably even worse. What do you think? Which is worse?
At least black flies are seasonal?
True, they disappear more quickly. They show up in, what, May? Well, no, usually May. And then they're usually gone by July. But man, are they an absolute plague. Yeah, so...
This is Canada, you know, rocks and trees, and never with the black fly.
Yep. Indeed. That's pretty common. But it doesn't get as crazy as what I've heard and seen from Northern Ontario, for example, which gets absolutely absurd swarms. So it's not too bad. Healthcare is kind of, well, I can't really say too much because it's been difficult to find a family doctor, but the same was the case in BC.
Yeah.
Here, it also seems hard. I also got on a list. Who knows how long that's going to take. But I can't say too much because now with COVID, of course, that whole situation is a lot worse because walk-in clinics, some of them or many of them don't even take non-urgent cases right now, or people who don't have a family doctor, which is ridiculous. Why the hell is it a walk-in clinic? But yeah, so that sucks a little bit, but overall, I would definitely say that Halifax is more of a city. Like, it feels more urban, like it's larger and has kind of more to offer compared to Victoria, at least. So of course it can't touch Vancouver at all, but it's pretty good.
It would be kind of unfair to compare a 300,000 people city to a metropolis like Vancouver with over 1 million.
Yeah. That wouldn't be quite fair. As far as prices are concerned, apparently the prices for food and other kind of everyday expenses seems to be a little higher here than in BC, but again, the housing prices are way lower. At least real estate for sale. Apparently the rents are also overpriced.
But they're all everywhere.
They are everywhere, and they're still lower, significantly lower than over on the west coast. Higher income tax though. What else is there? Fall is freaking amazing here. Like, it's beautiful. Fall is wow. This looks like a glacier here right now. It's really neat. I mean, fall is always beautiful wherever there is fall. Let's put it that way. but here especially so. Like, we were in the Annapolis Valley last October, and wow, crazy, stunning, really nice. So there's a lot to like here. I mean, there's plenty of hiking possibilities, and
Let's break it down. What do you not like? The winter.
Well, summer also gets a bit too hot for me because it gets significantly hotter than on Vancouver Island. 30 degrees with humidity that makes it feel like 36, which again, to some people that's nothing, but for me that's brutal. Gotta say that. So I'm really more used to anything up to 28, and that's already too much. As far as I'm concerned, anything above 25, screw that. But yeah, that's me.
The people are friendlier.
Yeah, you think that. I'm not sure I agree with that necessarily. People are perfectly friendly in BC in general. Yeah, people are definitely nice here. Infrastructure is okay.
I'm going to say that it's going to get a lot better because we just got a new premier in, and he has put massive emphasis on building out the EV system. So I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, so far electric vehicles are much more common in BC, or particularly I would say on Vancouver Island.
Lower mainland too.
Oh, lower mainland, yeah. West Coast, let's put it that way. And much more accommodated, more larger number of chargers, etc. But they're getting there. Like, it's not terrible here with the chargers, and overall, I mean, driving in Halifax is not fantastic, I think, because it can be kind of confusing sometimes because there's so many times a lane suddenly turns into a right turn only lane and you don't even really see it coming. But I guess that's just a matter of getting used to. Public transit depends a little bit on your standards. Canada, or at least outside of the big cities, is not great. It's usually only buses and that's it. You know, if you're used to some European cities that have, you know, buses and trains and subway and who knows what else, then that's underwhelming. But you know, it's not super terrible, at least in Halifax itself. And yeah, they're building quite a lot. So there are plenty of development areas that are getting new houses built and such. So it's expanding. It's definitely growing, which is a good thing.
We actually now hit it. Halifax is Canada's fastest growing city.
Right. And the economy is also growing. It was for a while. Nova Scotia had a bit of a reputation as one of the low or poor economy provinces, but it's getting there. It's definitely on the rise. The thing is, I honestly can't say that I regret moving here, even though I miss the island. It's not an option. Like, I wouldn't want to, like, on an emotional level I would want to go back, but I really wouldn't, because the housing is such a major deal breaker. Like, what does it help that you're in a place with super nice climate and this and that if it's eating you up? And you know, don't even think about trying to buy a house. Like, literally, they pretty much, like, a decent house starts at 1.2 million, unless you go all the way up the island. It's crazy. Whereas here, for 400,000, you get something pretty nice. You know, between 400,000 and 500,000, yeah, quite nice. And basically for like 800,000, you get pretty much a villa, almost. So yeah, a little bit more to offer in that regard. And yeah, sure is nice to walk around here. I would say if you get a chance to visit Nova Scotia, do it, but currently that might not be much of a thing.
Or in fact,
really don't. You don't come here. Yeah. Don't bring your plague here. We're doing fine. So yeah, but wait with that. But eventually, definitely worth recommending.
Oh, yeah, right. The weirdest little thing. The Atlantic smells nicer than the Pacific.
That's what you think. I don't necessarily agree. I do think it smells nice, but to me, the ocean always smells nice. So there's that. Anyway, thanks for listening to these more or less coherent rambles, I hope. And have a good one.